What's up, y'all? Hey, we had to take off last week, but we are back. Listen, Houston was Houstoning.
Yes, it was.
If you know, you know. We had to make sure we didn't float out of here last week, so we apologize that we missed y'all, but we are back, and we are excited to continue this conversation on Choosey Lover. Go ahead and do us a favor. Make sure you push like tonight so we can get in the algorithm. Make sure you comment so we can get in the algorithm. Make sure you call in. We want to hear your feedback and opinions tonight as we are talking. And also, more than anything, if this blesses you tonight, make sure you share. Just kind of giving you another heads up. We'll be soon, more than likely, we'll kind of start gauging that by August, flipping our live to YouTube. We're not going to rush that, but that's what we're eventually going to do. So make sure you go on over to YouTube and subscribe to us there and like, all right? So we're going to go ahead and kick it off. I'm excited about this conversation tonight because just in the production meeting and us just talking together, it got a little, I won't call it heated, but, you know, we were asking some questions and some antennas was going up, all right? So, Portia, go on, hit them with what you got.
Well, I think that, or let me ask the question. Do you feel like if you choose a woman based on sex or looks, that you end up with a dependent instead of a wife material or helpmate?
Okay.
Helpmate.
Mm-hmm. As a single man, let me say this because I hear women say that all the time as far as the whole sex thing. Men don't choose based off of sex. We have fun with sex, but we don't choose from that. Now, if you say looks, I agree with you. We ignore some things because of looks. We will ignore red flags because you're real fine.
There's a whole bunch of real fine women. A couple of dollars, a few thousands of dollars, everybody can be real fine.
I mean, but that's just what men are visual creatures. Okay. That's what we do. We're going to ignore the red flag. She could be crazy as 3 sprayed roaches.
That's crazy.
But if she real fine.
But you still see, that's the problem. And that affects your choosing.
Correct. Mm-hmm. I'm not denying that. I'm just telling you, men don't choose from sex. Mm-hmm. We'll have fun with that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's not for a long time. That's a good time.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
But as far as looks, if she's like really fine, we ain't doing that for no 6. If she a 10, yeah.
So you're saying that 10s could get away with a little bit more.
10s will get away with some stuff.
Just like men will get away with a lot of stuff if they got a bunch of money. They can get away with a lot.
Correct.
It just is what it is.
Correct.
Get away with
It comes a point like everybody, there comes a point where the money is just like, that's cute, but what else you got?
And it comes to the point where you can't just be fine. At some point, we really start liking a person, then it's like, okay, now let's get past you being fine.
Here's the mistake, though, that we make, Jashawn. We don't really get to that point, and we ignore a lot of stuff till we got to live with them and we're married.
Yeah.
You done chosen now.
I guess that's what the term thinking with the wrong head.
Yes.
Okay.
You done chosen now, and now it's cheaper to keep her.
Cheaper to keep her.
Sing the song in.
Joint classic.
And then when you do that, I think people get irritated within the relationship. Like a man, do you think that a man could be irritated once you have gotten past, oh, she's so fine now, you know, she's not really what I need or what I desire. Yeah. And then you regret your decision.
And walk around with an attitude.
Yeah, I want to say we walk around with an attitude because we don't want her to divorce us either and end up taking all our money. Because 9 times out of 10, if she is a 10, she got enough savvy to know whatever I got, she gonna get.
What people saying?
So the fear. Okay, so now you're going into a fear of a woman taking your money.
That's so. I don't care how much money a man has or does not have.
Because you know I'm about to.
This is where y'all miss it. Now I want you to. This is where y'all miss it. Okay, just like for you, your ability to bear kids and be a wife means everything to you.
Correct.
A man's ability to earn what he gets, what he does, becomes his identity. So when you attack that or when you come at that, you're literally in his eyes coming at him. So
you're the ops.
Right.
Okay.
So a man in that regard, he holds that near. any real man, his ability to not just provide for you, but provide for himself means everything to him.
Yeah.
Because that kind of comes with being a man.
Right.
I just think that at this age, I can say for us, I was 39, we got married, and Sean was 40. He just turned 40, I just turned 39. And he has a career, and I have a career. And so we just looked at it as, okay, we're going to bring what we both have together, and we're going to make that work together. Not that he's looking at me to live off of me. I wasn't looking at him to live off of him. I guess that type of thinking for women, I think it should get old. And I honestly think that it's if you don't make your own money or you're in your own career, because I care about my, he can tell me, hey, you don't have to work. I'm still going to work. I want to work, because it's just
But
something
isn't
about
it beauty in not having to work? Like, you want to work. You don't have to.
Yeah, I guess there could be some beauty in that. Absolutely. Yeah. If that's your case, but I guess I'm a busybody. And so, but also I just think that we just get to a point where, I mean, unless you marry rich.
But even then, you still have your projects. I can't, I'm with you. I can't envision a world where I'm not doing anything. You know me, I always have something going on. I'm going to push these pots. I'm going to cook. I'm going to do something. But I think that, well, for me, my mom didn't have to work. She wanted to work. She knew she liked to shop.
Pause. Hey, free plug here. Fields and Jackson.
Yes.
Go check her out.
Check us out. Pots, pans, all your kitchenware needs. We got you covered.
Absolutely. You're going to bring them and set them up in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
So we can showcase
dishes.
Gotta go and plug you, homie.
I appreciate you for that.
Yes. Go get you some. Share your website so everybody can know. I know we got off.
Share it. But so my mom, she wanted to work because she knew she liked to shop, and she didn't want anybody telling her like you went over your little budget for the month. Like that flexibility and that autonomy, and also staying busy. You don't want to just sit around the house and not do anything and not contribute outside of what the traditional role, like if that's not your setup. So I just think it's beauty in having the opportunity to make a choice and decision versus being forced into something.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah, that is good. What you think, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I listen. This is my thing, and I'm kind of on your page with that. Were you talking to me, this Sean or that Sean?
You.
Okay. I'm on your page with that. I think what we miss oftentimes is the ability to work as a team versus someone coming. I don't want to say it this way because it's going to cause World War III. Someone coming to retire you. Mm-hmm. Like you just said, Jashawn, unless you got, retired football player money and you got money set up somewhere and you ain't got to work your money working for you, 9 times out of 10, the average cat does not have the money to retire you.
Okay, hold up now, because you'll know this story when I tell it. I was dating a guy, started off, he was intentional. He had a conversation. I want to date you exclusively. Like, it was going well. And I said, and I believe he stopped talking to me because I said, I do not want to put in more hours outside of the home than I want to put inside of our home. Meaning, if you have a business, I'm smart as a whip. If you have something going on, whatever your projects are, I'm not about to go work 50 hours for somebody else when I could be putting that time into our household and what we have going on. Sure. His interpretation of that, and I had to learn to change my language because he heard she don't want to work. I'm like, you don't know all the other things I have going on that bring in just as much money, if not more than what my standard or corporate job may be. But a lot of men just assume women don't want to work when I guess it's how you word it sometimes, but I was just like, I don't want to work outside the home more than inside the home. And he heard she doesn't want to work.
He should have asked for clarity. That doesn't make sense.
He sent me a whole essay soliloquy. You know who I'm referring to. And I was
I'm trying to remember who that was. But
then that so then if he has a bad understanding.
Yeah.
Because there's just some people with bad understanding. Ask for clarity. If you don't know in your relationships, if you're thinking about being with someone, but instead of cutting off somebody, you may be cutting off a blessing because you don't have a clear understanding of what they meant or what they said.
Because if you run into a lot of women, like Sean was saying, that just want to be retired and not, you're the first, it's like a red flag or a panic. It's like me dating and I hear a guy, what do they call women? I just ready to say they'd be like, big money. If I meet a man and he big money's me, I'm like, oh Lord, run. Red flag alerts going off. So I'm assuming that for men, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, if you hear a woman say, I don't want to work outside the home more than I work inside the home, is that the equivalent to her saying, I want you to retire me and spend that ish?
I mean, I'm like LaPortia in that regard. I'm going to ask for clarity. What do you mean when you say that? Now because I know you, I know what you're saying. But if I don't know you, then my antennas would probably go up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you for clarity and not just assume.
Yeah.
But that is going to probably knock your stock down just a little bit.
Man, I got a whole soliloquy of a text. You know how women text men long essays and y'all be like, bro. When I got that message, I was like, I read this whole thing.
Rejection is protection. Just always remember that too. So let him hear what he wanted to hear.
He married now, and they over there doing what's best for them. And I wish you best in your endeavors.
She probably working harder than him. But anyway,
all right. So watch this, because we're talking about the problem. What's the solution, Jashawn?
Okay.
So I think the solution is, I think we got to get back to valuing each other. Number one, I think we got to get back to valuing what we all bring to the table in order to form this team that we talk about, right? There's some things that she brings to the table that's great for the team. There's some things that I bring to the table that's great for the team. And so I value her strengths just like she should value my strengths, and it all works together. The other thing, too, I think we got to get back to valuing taking care of each other. You know what I mean? I'm not saying maybe valuing taking care of each other as far as monetarily, but I value looking out for you. You know what I mean? I just think that just kind of like what you were saying. I think that because I'm married, there are some things I shouldn't have to worry about because I got a wife. You know what I mean? And there's some things that my wife should not have to worry about because she has a husband. What does it look like that my wife is at the car dealership getting an oil change?
Correct.
And I'm at the crib.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Talk to the people.
You know what I mean? And I just think that we got to
taking out that trash.
Or taking out the trash. And my wife would tell you she can count on one hand how many times she's rolled the trash can to the street.
On two hands.
You know what I mean? Since we've been married. And I ain't gonna listen. Since we've been married, one hand, she can probably tell you how many
I
times.
don't touch that trash. Do you hear me?
Exactly. And that's cool. You know what I mean?
I told him this morning, it's 3 bags right here.
Right.
But that's something I had to learn too. I had to. It hadn't always been like that. Yeah. That's something I had to.
When you say you had to learn, was it learning to lean back and let him lean in? Or what do you mean?
It's hard letting go of the reins when you've been doing this so long for yourself.
Yeah.
It can look like, oof. I was I always talk about single mom, had my own house already. I was taking out my own trash. Wasn't used to anybody opening up my door, and I'm like, I got it, because that's what life has dealt. It deals you out. I got it, spirit, you know. And then it's hard to say, okay, I'm gonna give you this to give you control of something that I've had for so long, as an adult, and trusting someone with what you're normally doing. You're trusting someone with helping pay bills or helping to say, hey, I paid this and that. You're like, oh, let me make sure, know, let me, checking behind them to see, it's that transition period. I probably, it took me a while to be, and then when something didn't go right, I was like, see, I know I should have never did, and that can be hurtful. That can be hurtful. What you thought about something?
Yeah, I did. I ain't gonna lie.
You want to share?
No. So, but I think that. Go ahead, Chanel. I'm sorry.
I was just about to the two solutions that I heard both of you all say was just valuing your partner and trusting your partner. Those are two ways that
you really need to have an agreement. What is the agreement that you come up with, and the agreements change. The agreements change. Like when we first got started financially, I took care of everything. But then we had a child graduating, we had this and that, and then Jashawn takes care of everything. We have meetings and stuff like that. So agreements change. But you have to have some type of agreement. If you don't have those conversations on agreeing how you're going to raise your children, where you're going for holidays. You used to go to your parents' house. You used to, when we first got together, I used to spend it at my parents' house every Thursday night. Me and my daughter, we'd go over there every Thursday night.
Ooh,
and I was like, I'm going to spend the night at my mama's house, but it wasn't in a bad way. It was just like, this is what I used to do. And then he was like, married women don't spend the night outside the house. And this is, and I was like, I'm just going to my mama's house. That was a big a huge transition because I had to learn how to be married.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to be a married woman.
That's the
And
thing
so,
that concerns me. I'm like, by the time I
and
get
that
married,
was
that's an
was
adjustment.
it an argument? It was a disagreement.
Well, it wasn't an argument. It was just a level of uncomfortability and just a lack of understanding of why your normal was doing that. That was not my normal. You know what I'm saying? It's not normal for married people to spend the night at their parents' house without each other just because not one of them was sick or anything like that. That's just what I'm used to doing, right? And I think that when you get married, you have new normals. There's some things that you don't do anymore. But going back to it, I think what helps us, the solution to that is kind of like when you were talking about agreements. To me, agreement says governing factor, right? I think in a marriage, you have to have a governing factor, like what guides our decision making. Like when we do have conflict, then what do we go back to that governs our decision making, how we operate in this marriage? So if we agree upon that you take care of the finances, then we agree upon that. I'm depending on you to do that. Because that's where we go back to the agreement, the governing factor. If it's I take out the trash, then that's my job. That's that's how we do that. If we don't go to parents' house and stuff like that, that's something that we agree upon. This is how we operate in our marriage. Don't make it's bad. This is how we govern. Your governing factor could be the word of God. You know what I mean? I govern myself. I treat her based upon how God says I treat her. I treat my husband based upon how God says I need to treat my husband. And I think that right there can cancel out a whole lot of the guessing game and how we cohabitate with one another and how we get over this whole fear of letting go of the reins or this whole confusion of, dang, I don't know if I can trust him to do that. I don't know if I'm ready to do that yet. But what is the governing factor?
And then consistency too.
Yeah.
Whatever the agreement that you come to, make it consistent. That builds trustworthiness. That makes, if you are going to pay the electricity bill every month, I shouldn't walk in here and I can't, the lights don't cut on, the water.
Oh, we got a red letter.
It was like, okay, wait a minute. The agreement was, and then that, especially at this age, it's like, okay, I never used to have my lights cut off. I'm not saying this has been our situation because it hasn't been, but I would look at it like, hey, before you, my lights was never cut off. My water was never cut off. So, whatever the agreement is, stick to it. And if something changes or you forgot or that it's okay to have meetings every 3 months.
Now let me do a sidebar with that though.
Okay.
Just like you said, well, before you, I did A, B, C, D, and E. Well, then that man could take that as being emasculated.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So there's a way. Let's go back to communication. How do you communicate your concern? Before you, I was doing this here before you, and I was way better than whatever before I met you. Or do you say, hey, listen,
have I said that before?
We had an agreement, and I want to circle around back to that agreement, and let's make sure that if we can't do that, then let's recalibrate, and let's just adjust if you can't do it every month, because I will feel more comfortable because I don't like that.
That's honest communication.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. What you got, Sean?
Man, I'm just listening to the wisdom you guys are offering because at the end of the day, and if you're just joining, we're still talking about Choosey Lover, and dealing with that now. Where we're kind of the slant we're about to start taking with this. Now you've chosen. Now you got a steward.
Now you got a steward.
Yeah. And explain what steward means, because some people don't know what that means.
Steward means taking care of or making sure that you
manage.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What it is that you prayed for, right? Or I can say it like this way, comical. Now I got a husband. What do I feed him?
How do I keep this man?
Yeah.
I got to keep him.
I got a wife. What I feed her now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to be able to take care of it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take care of it, that's called neglect. And when you neglect something, that's going to give you negative growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think that's what that was. I think that was the question in our pre-production meeting was, now that I've prayed for everything, I prayed for this person, God gave this person to me. Now how do I manage them? How do I steward them? They check all the boxes. Okay, I got you, baby. They check all the boxes, and this is exact. So now how do I steward them? I'll give you a story. When me and LaPortia got together, I met her, and she had a vision board on her wall. Okay, she had a picture of a nice-looking young chocolate man. She had some little attributes that she wanted. I want him to have the perfect personality, perfect relationship with God. Great stepfather, great father of his own person. She had all these great things, right? And so she told me one day, she said, I just want to tell you, you check everything like on these, like on this board. You really do. And I told her, I said, I thank you. I appreciate that. And I really was appreciative of that. My question to her was, though, did you ever ask yourself what kind of wife you're going to be to this guy?
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Mm-mm. And she said,
honesty.
And she said, yeah, and she'll tell you, she said, I never did. Because I think a lot of the times we do get married, we have this thing of, I want this person to do this, and do this, and do this, and all of those things benefit me in my situation. Mm-hmm. But then what am I going to be when it's not so perfect? Right. How am I going to be when his personality ain't perfect? What's going to happen if he lose business and he ain't making 300, now he making 100? Mm-hmm. What's going to happen if his health does fail? What's going to happen if, he's having an off week and his attitude he ain't comical like he normally is? So how do I steward him in those moments? Mm-hmm. Same thing with her. Some things have changed with her. How do I steward her through life's changes? Do I just hang on to what I married? No. I go back to the governing factor. What brings me back to how I treat her, right? And so at the end of the day, when I do see life lifing, then how do I adjust? How do I still steward her through that moment? Because things change, life change, people change. Mm-hmm. So when you do pray for what you do and God give it to you, how do you steward it? That's the question. What would you think about that, babe?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't. I always just tell them I don't know how to be a wife. I don't know.
Yeah.
The wives I saw growing up. My mom was married to my dad early on. My grandmother was married 3 times. And she cooked. All the wives, my aunts and uncles, they cooked. The men went to work and the wives cooked and all that stuff. But we never saw arguments or, we didn't see the handling of the money, we didn't see the grown folks side because kids were kicked out the room,
Yeah.
And it's just like when you got older, you start saying, "Oh, Uncle's cheating on, ain't he?"
All the business,
like, yeah.
Oh, that's
like,
our cousin.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he had the baby on the outside. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you don't know if you've never been married, and then even if you have been married, it's not the same person you're marrying. So you're not the same man you was because you've been married.
Yeah,
before.
I've been married, but I've not been married to her.
Correct. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And so you really just gotta learn where y'all both fit in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's gonna be ups and downs. I used to, when we first got together, I was like, oh, we ain't gonna never argue.
Because we cool like that. We laugh, joke, we both silly. And it's like, I'm like, girl, we're 2 different people, right? Like, we gonna get into it.
I'm like, no, we not.
But it's just like, even with that, we talk about stewardship and stuff like that. When things change, now things have changed. Now we're in it. Things have changed. Mm-hmm. Now how do we steward that? And then watch this. I can tell you about the change and say, hey, I don't like such and such and such and such and such and such, right? Mm. But if I have not made enough deposits into you, then what I tell you that you may not like or something I don't like with you, you're not going to receive it well because I've not made enough deposits into you.
What kind of deposits do you think you need to make into your significant other?
Well, I think that
or wife.
I think one of the things is you really learn their love language and what makes them feel loved. You know what I mean? Like for me, mine is words of affirmation. I like it when you tell me that I've done a good job. You know what I mean? I like it when you tell me, babe, that tastes good when you cook that. I like it when you say, babe, you look good. I like when you say, babe, you sure was singing up there on Sunday, baby. I like that kind of stuff. That's gonna make me sing harder the next Sunday. You know what I mean?
You need to get your mind on the Lord,
right? But I like words of affirmation. I like you to tell me random I love yous. You know what I mean? Tell me that you're thinking, hey, I was at work, but I was thinking about you and letting you know that you was on my mind. I like that kind of stuff. That makes me feel loved. But if you ain't done that, but then you come back with a bunch of criticism about what I ain't done, and you rolling your neck and all this other stuff, you know what I mean? Then you've not, because I feel like
black women don't roll our necks. What are you talking
absolutely
about?
Not. What?
Okay, so okay. Well, I guess they lie, but
we don't lie either.
But no, but if you've not made enough deposits into me, I feel like when you kind of telling a person something negative about themselves, it's not easy to receive. Nobody likes nothing negative about them, right? Yeah. And I feel like it may think of it as a withdrawal. You know what I mean? But if you've not loved me enough, I'm gonna take that as an attack. You know what I mean? Versus loving correction. You know what I mean? So I think that's a part of stewardship too. It's just making sure that you're making deposits into one another, going back to making black love cool again, like getting back to depositing into one another for the greater goal. You know what I mean? And I think society, we've gotten to the point of this whole era of independence. I don't need a woman for nothing. I don't need a man for nothing. I do this. I, me, to where the eyes and the me's ain't making it wheeze. You know what I mean?
I feel like
The
that's a
eyes
whole
and the me's
episode
ain't
right there.
making
The
the
value
wheeze.
part, because we don't see the value anymore. The
Yeah.
conversations, men will say, I can hire a chef if I want a chef. I got a housekeeper that comes in every week or every 2 weeks to clean up. If I want to, have a little fun, I get somebody with the body that I know I'm not I can outsource all these things.
Yeah.
What is the value in having a wife? What is the value in having a woman? We need to get back to like those conversations. I don't know who owns those conversations, but they need to pick back up, because I hear quite a bit like, well, what's the value? What do you bring to the table? This, that. And so
A man asking you what you bring.
not me personally,
But
but
I mean, asking women what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
You know, as a man,
Stop
that irks
asking that
me.
question.
That irks me when I hear men say
Yeah,
that.
men shouldn't be asking women.
Because if you really understand the value of a woman, she is the table.
Yeah, but I don't think women should ask men that question either.
Nope, they shouldn't.
It has a negative connotation to it. What you bring to the table?
because they're like, I pay my own bills. I got my own house, car.
Right.
This, that. I travel with my girls. I go out to eat with my girls, and we spend money like drug dealers.
But then
What
that
can you
creates,
do?
but then that creates separation, and it makes us harder to get back to making black love cool and just love. Period. It makes it hard to say, okay, I don't need you for this. So what's the point in being with you?
Yeah.
It comes
know.
right back down to what is your governing factor.
Yeah.
What governs you. Not everybody, I understand, believes in the word of God like we do. However, I know everybody sitting at this table right now, that's our governing factor of how we live single, let alone married. So if that's your governing factor, typically you understand the value, because marriage is an ordinance of God. I mean, we know that. In other words, that means it's order.
It's purpose partner.
It's exactly.
Yeah. I'll get to another solution here. Kind of what we were talking about is just being intentional about one another. I mean, think about it like when you're dating, right? You're intentional about planning dates, and you're intentional about how you talk to each other. You're intentional about everything, how you look, spending time together, all the things. And then we get married, and it's like we stop being intentional, but we expect it to work. And I'll give you, we get on autopilot. That's what I'll say. I'll give you an analogy. We were talking in our production meeting, and I was listening to a guy one time. And he's a preacher, but he said he was a pilot as well. Okay, and he said that what he knows about, and a lot of the reasons why planes crash is because there's a malfunction in the autopilot system. So what happens is the pilot takes his hands off, and while he's taking the hands off, the autopilot system is malfunctioning, and it causes it to crash and burn the plane. Well, it's the same thing with our marriages, right? In our relationships, we put them on autopilot and just expect them to work, and we've taken our hands off the wheel and steering this thing in ways it's supposed to go. And now you see a lot of marriages crashing and burning because we're on autopilot.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's work. It's
Yeah.
a job that you cannot take off of. Just like parenting, it's a job you don't take off of. Marriages, it's work. And you have to be willing to work. And some days you don't feel like working.
And so what I'm hearing you say is what you make it.
It is what you make it. It is what you make it. But then, like the days I don't feel like working, I tell him. I'm like, you know what, today I don't have nothing for nobody today. Because sometimes I just need to have something for me. On some days, I don't want to care about anybody's feelings. And I just need to go in solitude. I just need to be with my own self. And that goes from a child or for anybody. I don't know. I don't care what you eat for dinner. It doesn't matter, and it's okay. But I verbalize it. We had to do that in the beginning of our relationship too, because instead of just walking around with a stank face or whatever, I need to verbalize. Hey, I'm off today. I'm not in a good space today.
Yeah, we had to do that. I remember, I'm not gonna go into the specific, but she was in the car one day and she was upset about something. I knew she was upset. I'm like, hey, you okay? What's going on with you? And she was like, well, I got to tell you my every thought. And I'm like, I'm the kind of person like I try to be a student of my wife. You know what I mean? So if I see that she's off, then I want to know, hey, are you okay? What's on your mind? What's going on? And so her deal was, I don't feel like I need to tell you everything that's going. No, at least say this. I'm just not in a good space right now. I'll talk to you about it later. But I'm just not in a good space right now. and then we done. I go in the back and smoke a cigar. That's cool.
I ain't
No
want to do
problem.
that either.
You
I
know?
just wanted to be in my own little
Yeah.
funky mood.
But that's the thing that you talk about when you talk about the transition, right? When we were talking about earlier, learning how to cohabitate with somebody and saying, okay, I know that he wants to know he cares about me. He cares about my feelings. He cares about what's going on in my mind. So at least let me tell him while I process on my own, babe, I'm not in a good space right now. I'll talk to you about it later. Just give me a little time. No problem. And I'm going out here.
That disclaimer is perfect. Like that, you'd be like, oh, okay. Because when you don't communicate that, it gives people opportunity to create different narratives that might not even be
that's
true.
true. That's
Just
true.
say like, hey, I just need a moment. It's not, hey, just I need a moment.
Has nothing to do with you.
Has nothing to do
Yeah.
with
Like,
you.
okay.
Because a lot of
Talk
times,
to
I
you
think
later.
in the beginning too, he thought it was him. I was like, it's not you. It's just I need a moment. But also, as soon as we got married, I started dealing with menopause or perimenopause stuff. As soon as we got married, and it was just like I was crashing and burning, going down because that's a real thing, you know. And women, we gotta address it.
Speaking of, you want to go into it?
Yeah, we gotta address it because as soon as we got married, it was like, it hadn't even been a year, and to be honest with you, I was angry, didn't know why. I was very irritated, very just low libido. Like, why I ain't got no libido. I done got married and I like to have sex. And he thought that, just be open. Is it me? I'm like, it's not you. And it was something I could not explain. What else? Brain fog. The brain fog. Not able to think of words, and then when you're able to think of words most of the time and you're pretty sharp.
Yeah.
And it was like, I remember one day I was talking, I couldn't even think of the word car. And I was getting frustrated, with myself because I didn't know what was happening. Well, turns out my body wasn't producing testosterone, and it was causing all these things. It was causing me to crash and burn on the inside. And then I'm supposed to tell you how I'm feeling. I don't even know how I'm feeling,
Yeah.
And you look at me talking about, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I don't know, And so, because it's a real thing, and so, but I recognized something was wrong, and then I went and got some help, and I went and got treatment, so I can be better for myself to be better for my family.
Do me a favor for our listeners and people that are watching. Give about the age range, because really I've heard of it before, but until we talked about it slightly that one time on the show here, I had never heard anybody go into it in detail. So what is the age range?
I'm going to look it up and give you the actual age range, but women can start feeling it at 35. I know mine started at 39, and I just started going down and down and down and down. But I'll look that up and give you that. But I just talk about, because this podcast is for 35 and up.
Right.
But that's something that we as women do, deal with. Hot flashes. The hot flashes are is a thing. It was like, well, I'm hot. You don't feel sexy anymore. You're holding on to weight that didn't used to be there. Your face looks pudgy. Your stomach is getting a pooch. And these are the things that women, that we pride ourselves on, is looking good. And you don't look the same to yourself because your body is going through these changes. And it's like, okay, it's something you have to recognize, especially at this age when you're trying to go into a relationship. Hey, these things are happening to me. And we hope that a man can be understanding to that, because some men don't think it's real. They be like, "Oh, she crazy."
But that goes into also when you talk about stewarding, giving grace. Like something changed and something that she couldn't control, and how messed up would it have been if she's dealing with something that she can't control, and me just abandon her and be like, I ain't dealing with that. She just crazy. No, she ain't just crazy. Nobody is just crazy. There's something driving. Right. Something's happening.
Right.
So instead of just defaulting to, hey, I'm out here, I ain't got to deal with that. I ain't finna deal with that. No, I'm going to deal with it with grace. Because I'm going to change too. And I'm going to need some grace extended to me. So, okay, you feeling it? You hot? Let me turn the fan on. Let me, if you got attitude or you dealing with something, hey, I got dinner tonight. Hey, don't worry about Kylie. I'm going to go pick up Kylie from school and you just chill. I'm going to give you some wine or something, and I'm going to go handle everything else so you ain't got to worry about it. Because we ain't going to always be 100.
Right.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes she going to be 40, and I need to come with the 60.
Come on, that's the LMA song, 100.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I
And
ain't
vice
gonna
versa,
always
too.
have
It just depends. It just depends, We not 100. Your partner is not going to be 100% every single day.
Yeah.
And picking up on cues to say, hey, let me just take care of this. It's okay for women to take care of your man. The man don't have to just take care of us all the time.
Yes.
It's okay to fix him. If we at home on a Saturday, I'm gonna get up and cook some breakfast. You want a cup of coffee? That's how I got him.
That's how she got
Come
me
on
with a
now.
cup of coffee.
I love being around married women that take pride in taking care of their man. 'Cause why
Yes.
would you marry somebody that you don't want to take care of? That is
Baby,
crazy.
I made him a cup of coffee, put some cinnamon in it.
Listen.
She like, ooh, she got a special
Listen,
blend.
that cinnamon made me happy and brought my blood pressure down.
That's
It's a
why
good-
behavior. She looking out for your well-being.
But she was doing that kind of stuff without even knowing that she was being a wife to me. You know what I mean? This is just in our dating phase. Hey, you want some coffee? Yeah, sure. And she come with this whole situation of a coffee, and I'm just like, ooh, I think I want to get her.
But it's okay to, it brings me great joy. I don't mind getting up cooking some breakfast. Breakfast is my favorite, and so just because I grew up with a grandmother that you woke up to smelling sausage and bacon in the morning, and it brings back that kid feeling. Did you wake up like that?
Yeah. I think,
It's just.
That's just good. I think that like we're talking about valuing taking care of each other, valuing, getting back to I want to take care of my man. I think to me that's a flex. You know what I'm saying? I get back to wanting to take care of your lady. That's a flex. For me, we can go somewhere and the joke is I just put it on the counter and walk away. If we're in the store buying some stuff. Let's say we're in a department store. Her and Kylie both, they'll throw it on the counter and walk away because they ain't finna swipe no card. It's gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, that's a flex. There's certain things with her. I know when I come home, like I told y'all before, when I come home from work, extra job, man, my lady gonna have me something to eat. I'm cool with that. That make me feel good. Either she bought it or she cooked it. And I look forward to that. You know what I mean?
Lord have mercy.
I think I've heard you say that one time. It was like, I like doing all the cooking and
the towel, the shower is on, the towel ready, the food. I'll prep. You gotta go. Okay, I will prep you some food. All the things. It's just like if you are working hard and you're making sure that I'm good and I don't have to worry about anything. What do I look like? And you still have to. Your life hasn't improved for the better with me being here. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
We should take care of each other. It's too many women out here talking, I ain't fixing him no plate. Why?
Why you with him?
You
Why
posted
are
a
you even
video
with
like
him?
that. Someone
Why
was
you
like, I
got-
ain't gonna cook nobody.
Why would you not?
Understand? Like, what is the problem? I don't mind. I'll fix your plate. I'll fix your plate. I love fixing plates. There's nothing wrong with fixing a plate. Sit down, relax.
The elders taught me that the first time I brought a guy home when I was in college, and they were like the aunties were in the kitchen.
Yes.
And I think I was gonna fix his plate. I was like 21, 20. I hesitated too long. They were like, "You gonna fix?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm gonna fix his plate."
Because we don't have enough aunties and grandmothers telling women, "Girl, fix his plate," even though he's not your husband. You come over because that's how we would look about. You need to go fix his plate.
Yeah, everybody fixes to this day.
They would
To
look
this
at you
day.
weird, but now you got aunties and grandmothers that are 32. Grandmothers that are 29, ain't fixing him no plate. He can fix my plate,
No,
But
go fix that man.
That's
his
what somebody
plate.
said. Rhonda Terry said, that's what good partners do. They take care of one another.
yeah, you just taking care of each
Yeah.
other.
Look, going back to the menopause thing, somebody said, my house stay on 67 degrees.
67.
Randall
Lord.
Ellis.
It's hot up in here right now. Like these lights is flashing. It's hot.
Yeah.
To flip that, the first time I came home from college with my college girlfriend, my grandma, I don't think my mama was paying attention too much, but my grandma and my aunts was watching to see what she was gonna do. And I got up and made my plate, and she didn't tell me to sit down. And my auntie pulled me to the side. And, that ain't the one.
Yeah, because why did you get up? Go sit down. Don't be embarrassing me in front of your people like that.
Because that's
Sit
old
down.
school. That is old school.
Yeah, but now you embarrassed and she looking like she don't know how to take care of at least the
But
bare
she-
minimum of
But
fix
they
the
not
plate.
taught though. They're
Not
not
taught.
taught to fix plates. They're not taught to cater. It's all that. You
Put
don't
that
need
plate
a
in the
man.
oven
You
so
don't
it
listen
stay
to-
warm while you at work when he come back,
You have to be taught. I believe you have to be taught those things.
Yeah.
You have to.
I got to change where I fish because you'd be surprised how many people don't do that.
They don't.
Do you find women at your age still too that don't want to fix a plate?
Yeah.
I mean, don't want to cater. Don't
Every
cater.
time he says this, I look at him in awe because I
Me
can't
too.
believe.
Like, who are these women? Please invite them here and tell me why. I need you to know. Anybody in the comments,
Yes,
tell
please.
me why is it such a problem for you? Because I know that may be the way you grew up. What is the problem with fixing a man's plate?
Yeah.
You fix your son's plate, your 18-year-old son.
Right.
Ooh.
What's wrong with fixing your man's plate?
So let me just throw this out here because I know this is something that I've heard before too. You marry into a situation where there are children involved,
Absolutely.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And the woman caters to the children and not the husband.
What they say, Daddy gets the big piece of
I'm
meat.
gonna ask you why. What is why? Cater to both.
Have you heard that before?
Yeah, sure.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The woman catering to it doesn't. I don't know because I fix my daughter's plate and my husband's plate. Some days and some days I don't. I cook the food. Yeah, I can go get it. But
That's on one of them 40 days. 40% days.
well, no, for if I'm up cooking breakfast, I'm gonna fix y'all
Yeah,
plate. And
for
y'all
sure.
come on. But I just like y'all to come on while it's hot. Don't
That's an
Yeah, I
insult
want
to
you to
couple.
eat
Yeah,
one.
don't lay in the
I
bed.
get
don't
it.
lay in the bed no extra
I'm
while
finna
you
get up in a
drinking that
minute.
coffee.
I like the act of here. Like I like that. I want to bring you your plate. Like something about I fix it. I'm not gonna sit on the counter. I want to bring you the plate so you can see the presentation because I take pride in my cooking and I need you to be like excited. I need you to have some excitement. Now I'm gonna take it back.
We have a
We
caller.
have a caller.
Take them.
Caller, talk to us.
Let's get it.
Okay, so I have a question about that. What happens?
Introduce
in
yourself, boo.
terms-
Introduce yourself to us. Who are you? Who we talking to?
Sunshine.
Okay, hey,
Hey,
sunshine.
Hi, everybody. So, what happens when you have a man that is so independent that he doesn't allow room for you to be able to cater to him and see about him? So it's not you having an issue with necessarily fixing the plate and doing all those things. But when you have a man that's, I got it. I don't need you to do that. I got it. Then how do you navigate that?
Men.
That goes back to what you said earlier, though. That man has to get to a place to where he lets that go. You know,
Why would a
How does he get
man?
there?
But,
Yeah.
but let me
Thank
tell
you.
you this.
Thank you for
Let
your
me-
question.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
That's a
Sunshine.
good one.
That is
That's a good one.
That's
That's
a
a
good
very
one. I didn't
good
think about that.
So I'll say this though: you have to again go back to being a student of your significant other. Where does that come from?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Why does he feel as though has he been used to a woman? Does he know what it looks like for a woman to cater to him and for him to say, "Okay, you got it, babe." You know what I mean? If he's not, then since you have that information, the intel, right? Then you extend grace and allow him to, okay, listen, this is why I do this for you, and I want to make you comfortable. I want to make you, you're well capable to do all these things, but this is my way of showing you that you don't have to do this alone, and it may take some time. So what I would do is understand where that comes from first. Once you figure out where that comes from, then try to navigate that and try to figure out how do I dwell with him according to what I know about him to say, okay, he's never seen it. Let me exhibit it. And here's the thing. If he says, I just don't like that, then be okay with saying, okay, let me step back a little bit and don't take it offensive. It's not personal.
Yeah.
I know as far as men are concerned, right? I'm an only child, so I've never had to deal with this, but I have friends who are like almost the quasi-father of their families. You know, growing up, they were the oldest and they were taking care of everybody, including sometimes mama. You know, so they learned to do it. And it's hard to just like you were talking about that earlier, it's hard to let go of that when you've had that type of mentality of everybody depending on you and you're so used to that and not wanting to relinquish it.
Well, then it's like, who can you depend? If everyone depends on you, who can you depend on? But are you even giving them the opportunity to lean in?
Right. You
How
have to
does a
open your eyes
woman
and
lean
see
in?
it.
Like, do we insert ourselves? Like, what does that? We talk about like we're here for solutions. How do you get there? I mean, we know the issue. You've been doing everything on your own. Great. But you say you want these things, so are you going to relinquish a little bit of control? You gonna let me do that or no? Because
think-
you can't say women don't do this, that
Right,
when
right,
you
right.
don't even create space for a
I'm
woman
about
to
to
do
say
that.
that. Yeah, I'm about to say they got to create the space to do that, and it's just to the point that we're giving opportunity for that person to build trust with you. You know what I mean? I mean, trust works both ways. You know, it's just not given, but at least give the person an opportunity to earn it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a conversation to say, hey, listen, I want to build your trust in this area. It's crazy. We just had this conversation today. I won't go into detail again, but we had a tough conversation last week about some things and just life, and I asked her today. I said, hey, what does that look like for you, for me to lead you in this area? Or what does it look like? What is something, would you like me to handle something so that you don't feel like it's all on you or that you don't feel overwhelmed in that area. And that's probably a conversation we probably should have had before then, and we did. You know, we had a situation where we handled something one way in the beginning, things changed, and so I'm still operating in the first agreement, you know, but then when the things change, now she probably seems like she don't want to operate in that no more, but that was never discussed. So
I just got an attitude.
you just got an attitude. You know what I mean? And you know, and it happens like that, right? So I think that given the opportunity to say, hey, this is what I would like from you, and I'm gonna give you the opportunity to build that trust in that.
It comes from, let me tell you, invisible work. Women take on so much invisible work. I always tell him, before my feet hit the ground in the morning, I'm thinking about, and I'm kind of switching gears, y'all. We changed tabs a little bit because you said that. I'm thinking about, okay, I gotta pay this. And I'm just gonna use my situation now. Tuition for the summer program for my child, or when she, we got a game tonight. We got this tonight. We gotta do this. I gotta do this at work. I gotta do this at work. So it's the invisible work for what's going on at work, what's going on in your child's life, what needs to happen at this house. Oh, the housekeeper's coming. We need to clean up before the housekeeper comes, which he don't understand.
I get it.
I don't get cleaning up before the maid come. What are we paying her for? Listen, sidebar. We caught our maid watching Telemundo one day.
Did not catch her
Come on,
watching
dog.
We came home in the middle of the day at 11 o'clock, and she's on the couch watching Telemundo.
No,
I'm kidding.
I have never.
That's
caught
just
her
been an
watching
inside joke. but go ahead.
Telemundo. That's a sidebar. But it's the invisible work that women do, because men, I don't know what you think. Like, when y'all wake up in the morning, y'all rubbing your peacetime, man. And I'm like, I done did 15 things in my head before my feet have touched the ground, So no, I'm not thinking about that.
Can I explain that? That's
Please.
going to calm us to be able to start thinking about
I like
the
a little
stuff
morning.
that's up there.
I'm not saying we don't
A
like
little
it.
more than touching and agreeing.
I can see you on your day. Go out there and be great.
Yeah. Like a little moaning
Go
touch.
be great. Go have a great day.
Says the two people.
Yeah.
But no, that's what that is. On a serious note, that's nurture to men. So relaxing us in that regard, then I can start thinking about, because how y'all have the tabs, we have a pecking order in our head of what we need. We got to do this first, got to do that, got to do that. Y'all have like 20 things y'all trying to do at one time. That's not how we think.
Not at all. Not at all. But it goes back to, like you said, like going back to taking care of each other, right? There are things that a woman does for a man, even outside of sex, that calms him, that helps him through the day. Same thing with what a man can do to provide some security to ease some of the things on her mind, so that she don't have to feel like she's overwhelmed. What can I do to ease that? We're looking out for each other, and it's a partnership. You know what I mean? So I think we got the solution for me is just getting back to value and looking out for each other and taking care of each other and relinquishing some things so that I can give you room to handle that for me. I can give you room to be able to build trust so that we can do this partnership thing together.
Give room.
Do you want a partner, or do you want to control everything?
Yeah.
You can't
That's
have
it.
both.
Can't have both.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Randall Ellis says, I have zero understanding cleaning before the maid comes. I'm telling you, I just don't. What am I paying this $160 for?
You don't want the maid to think you live like a pigsty. You
I
straighten up a
wouldn't
little
care.
bit, give some type of guidance.
And Randall, by the way, you know exactly which aunt that was. My cousin.
Oh, okay.
You know exactly which aunt that was.
Yeah.
That's the oldest one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, can we go back to what you were talking about, the children piece? Because,
Yes.
with this age, people have children. There's not a whole lot of, y'all are rare.
Yeah.
and
Unicorn status.
Little unicorn status, which is cool. That's good, because if you come together and decide to have a child, y'all can kind of, build that from scratch. But when you're bringing two worlds together and you have shared children, what were you saying about that again? Oh, fixing the plate. That's what you were saying about the fixing the plates and women catering more to their children than to their husband or their significant other. That's tough. That's tough. Women have to find balance.
Oh,
in
what
that.
about the men having the children and they just want a nanny?
Oh, wait a minute. What you mean?
Oh, the men, so that's with the woman has a child, there's like that balance of, shifting from doing everything for my kids to include my husband or prioritizing my husband. But if the men have kids, sometimes they're just exhausted and want some help.
So I'm gonna go back to what
Like
you
you
said.
saying, like as single parent
Yes.
fathers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're single parent fathers. I've
Okay.
run into a few men who have custody of their kids and just are, joint custody.
LaQuette says this: those kids are gonna leave.
Yeah.
Yep, they
That
are.
part. Because who? Okay, because like our little one that's at the house, she getting leave too. Next Sunday we moving her to the dorm, and so. But we already know what we said we're gonna do. We've already started planning.
You look excited about it too. The way you
Yeah. Well, do I?
Yeah.
Next week I'll be crying. But right now I'm like,
And getting attitude with me. And now I got to take it personal. No, I'm kidding. No. But no, it's just, I think that kind of going along what you just said, the word that I'm going to use is that you said prioritize. Right? And I think what happens is we don't really understand, I'm going to go churchy, okay? We don't understand covenant. Right. And so for
can
me,
you explain covenant?
well, I think that we
some
got to do that. I'm gonna give another verse. You got to do that with the pastor here. He's more of the
Just say agreement. It's
Yeah.
the same thing you've been saying.
right.
The agreement.
Okay.
Because when you got
Well-
married, you made an agreement.
Yeah, I just want because some people may not know. They
Yeah.
they may not attend church and
Yeah.
understand the
Yeah.
covenant and.
But a
all
covenant is
that.
also
So just-
something. It's something. It's
a
agreement.
threefold.
Yeah, and this is when you're including God as well. You know what I mean?
Okay.
To say that I'm gonna do all these things, I'm promising to be all of these things, in front of God. You know what I'm saying? If your relationship with God matters, then you want to hold on to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But going back to it, I think what happens is that because we don't understand prioritizing and we don't understand covenant, then it's I'll put my kids before whatever, and I'll deal with you later because my kids was here before you. That kind of a deal. And so my thing is that it's not that you forget about your kids and you neglect them whenever you get married. It's just that here's the priority: is God first. My spouse is second. My children and family is third place, and everything else fights for fourth.
Everything else fight for fourth.
So how do you get there? Okay, because if you're dating or in a relationship intentionally, you're not in covenant yet. So it's my kid, right? I'm saying this if I had kids, then who I'm dating. But once you get married, then you have to. Everybody goes through a transition because the kid was once after God, the children were once after God, but now the man is your husband is now the one after God. Like, what does that transition look like?
So you go back to what is your governing factor?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like you're a Christian woman, right? You would probably say my husband comes first
Absolutely.
because that's what you automatically default to because that's what governs your decision making. So in dealing with that, I do have a son, or I do have a daughter. I love them. I'm gonna take care of them. I ain't gonna neglect them. You know what I'm saying? But my husband comes first. You know what I mean? Not first and forget my kid. That's not possible.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then you also marry somebody as well that understands that too. If they
Yes.
got kids.
That's what I was
you know
going
what
to
I
say.
mean?
It will fall into place. I don't mean to cut you off, Sean. I'm sorry. But it will definitely fall into place. If you were to have a child and you have married the right person, it will fall into place because they'll treat your child just like you treat your child. And it won't be so hard to say, I put my husband first, then my child, or you find that balance, and it's a lot of conversations with the kids.
Yeah.
With you and the husband coming to an agreement first, and then having a meeting with the children, because we all have to gain understanding. This is my wife. This is my husband. You will respect them as such. I don't expect for you to call them dad or whatnot, but you will respect them. You have to lay the rules, and this is a part of the agreement, And kids are to fall in line.
Yeah.
Children, talking back to your stepmother or father is not
acceptable?
it's not acceptable, and then I'm not saying the step parent has to whoop the child or anything like that. However, if you do see my child doing something they don't have no business, I do expect for you to say something,
That's a conversation too, right? In
Yeah,
the
that's
dating
a
phase,
conversation
right?
too.
You
As
know,
far
how
as
do we deal with our
discipline,
kids? You know what I mean?
Discipline and all
Yeah.
those things, but children disrespecting the significant other or spouse, I believe, is a no-no
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
all day long. And if that is allowed, y'all need to go back to the drawing board.
But then you're also teaching them too what that's supposed to look like. You're setting the example of what marriage it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, Kylie can't come to me without me saying, did you talk to your mom? Or what did your mama say? Or
Tell her what she told you.
So
that
one
day
time,
she got in trouble.
real quick, one time she got in trouble so bad, we got to call her as well.
Okay.
She got in trouble so bad, and I'll make it quick. And I went upstairs, and she had attitude and stuff like that. And she said,
took her car.
Just took her car. And she said, well, how long my mom's going to take my car for? I said, I don't know. Your mama took your car. You need to talk to your mom about that. So her question to me was, well, don't you run anything around here? And I looked at her and I said,
do you make any decisions?
Yeah, that's what she said. Don't you make any decisions around here? And I looked at her and I said, no. Because you can't go against your mama with me. We on,
One
you know what
band,
I'm
one
saying?
sound.
We're on the same team.
That's
He
funny.
said,
But go ahead and take the caller, though.
Caller, talk to us. Tell us who you are and what's your question.
What up? This is a friend of the show.
What's
Dr.
going on,
Keon,
man?
What's going on, y'all?
That's
Man,
Keon.
y'all are doing a great job.
hey,
man.
Keon.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
Hey, y'all, I'm loving the content, man. Y'all keep this stuff going because it is very, very, very necessary. You know, like I told you all when we were doing that shoot, man, this is some conversation that really, really needs to happen. I think that there's a lot of conversation that's out there in social media world that's talking about all of the issues, you know, why we can't get together. But I appreciate y'all for coming up with some ideas, man, on how to keep us together. Okay, it's easy to identify the problems. That's it.
Right.
That's easy. But y'all, I appreciate y'all for being solution oriented, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all do.
Thank you.
Oh, thank
man.
you, Keon.
Appreciate
man.
Yes,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all keep going on. I'll holler back.
All right, man.
Thank
Man.
you.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing with this whole thing. You know, like you said, you see a lot of this social media stuff, you know, and you see people standing at the mic. I won't name the show or whatever, but, you know, well, he doing this and he doing this and that. And it's like this man and woman battle. And it's like we keep fighting each other. And how do we come together? These are the same people that are fighting each other desire relationships.
Right.
And need each other.
Right.
It's nothing wrong with being codependent on your
Yes.
spouse. Like, what are you here for if I can't depend on you? Like, that's the number one. People are like, what do you want? I need him to love God. Can I depend on him? Why are you here if I can't depend on you? And what am I in your life for if you can't depend on me to take care? Some stuff just doesn't make sense to me. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
I want somebody, but I ain't finna take care of nobody.
Right.
I don't want to do
You gotta
that.
change your mindset. Mindset is a big thing, though. You know, and so therefore, I'm gonna also say, try some counseling.
Talk
You
to the
know,
lady.
Talk. You know.
Or the man, whichever one.
Yeah,
talk
talk.
to
Go
somebody.
lay on somebody's couch because you'll find that work in yourself and with each other, and you'll get other options besides what's in your head.
Yeah.
You know, when we come together, you know, I could have thought of something that you didn't think of, or someone else can shine some light. Like that one time we had some counseling, and the guy had to tell Deshaun she not looking for an exit plan. You know,
Yeah.
what he tell you?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said she's not looking for an exit plan. She just, you know, she's just expressing how she feels, or she just in her own way of processing or whatever. It's basically telling me don't take things personal. You know what I mean? And so, but I will say going into the next thing you talk about counseling, if you're talking about managing and stewarding your relationship, go to counseling, y'all. Get some marriage counseling and have, I encourage everybody to have an accountability couple.
Accountability couple more so anything.
Yeah.
But let me say this too. There are so many men against counseling. Even
is that?
in long-term marriages, you know, there are so many men against counseling because they don't want, you know, I hear so many different people saying how men don't want to go to counseling for no one to tell them anything, you know, and it's hard. And, you know, and how much time do we have?
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But definitely accountability partner. And when
Accountability
when I say in
partner,
choosing this, when you're choosing an accountability partner, couple, have both of those people have both of y'all's best interests at heart.
Yes.
And choose a couple that wants to see y'all succeed, and be okay with choosing this couple that when you're not doing right, that man or that woman can say, hey bro, you ain't on point with that. You need to chill out with that. And the same thing with the female. Hey girl, I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And be able to trust them to do that and be able to adjust. You know, they can tell you, but then if you don't do nothing, it's a waste of time. Same thing with counseling. You
If
go to
you-
counseling
yeah.
and don't apply it.
Here's the
I
thing,
like
to
that.
answer both of y'all's questions, I know we got to go. Men typically don't do church or counseling because we don't trust advice from people we don't know. That's typically how that works.
Well, if everybody that you know is a crash dummy.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just
Out
telling
here
you why.
wilding,
I'm
perhaps
just
you
telling you
should talk
Yeah.
to somebody.
I'm just telling you why. But it's been a real conversation. Do we
Absolutely.
need to do a part 4 of this?
No.
We can
Okay.
but
We
we
can
can
move
talk
on.
about accountability.
We can move on.
I feel like we
We
yeah.
can move on.
So y'all, we enjoyed, this conversation tonight. If you enjoyed it, make sure you share. Like I said, go check us out on YouTube, subscribe there. You can even share that as well. We'll see y'all not next Monday, but Monday after next. All right?
Yep.
All right. Good night.
Y'all have a good
All
night.
right, have a good one. Bye.